Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. My name is Daniel and I'm the High Mileage Helper. On this channel, my goal is to be able to help you learn more about the RV transporting industry, as well as give how-to videos for your truck along the way, and then to give recommendations in both of those things. And so if this is our first time meeting, just consider subscribing, hitting the like button if I give you good value. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how old of a truck is too old to start driving in this industry. And we'll get right into that coming up. So, unfortunately, I can't give a cookie cutter answer. I wish I could give you a 10 years or 15 years old or newer, and that's the cutoff, and be able to say that, and you know, it's a pretty straightforward answer. Unfortunately, things are different across the board. Companies are different. There's many different factors, and so I wanted to unpack this with you so you can get an idea of what's going on behind the scenes at different transport companies. What's going on in their mind and what they expect. And so number one, the biggest factor really is going to be what does that company's insurance require of them. If they require 15 years or newer when they hire a new driver, when you lease on with your truck, that's the final answer right there to begin with. Depending on their insurance, what they require of that company to be able to lease their fleet with, that's really the final answer. Now, maybe their insurance doesn't require or have really strict requirements for trucks, but number one, that is the first thing. That transport company is not going to be able to get away with hiring on a bunch of older trucks that's past that insurance's requirements. And so number one is their insurance. Number two really comes down to how desperate are the transport companies, or the transport company you're looking into, how desperate is that company during the peak season where we have just trailers flying out of the lots. It's wild. It's feast or famine. And so during peak season, they are hiring people left and right, which means generally, I would say in most companies, their standards, they're willing to drop. Now, if that still falls into the insurance window of what they allow, then generally most companies, they say, well, it's still younger, or I'm sorry, it's still newer than the insurance requirements, but we really don't like it. But listen, we need more drivers today. And so we're going to hire this person right now, lease their truck, and get them on the road because we've got to be making this money during peak season. It just has to happen. And so that's number two. How desperate is that company? Number three, how presentable and seemingly reliable is that vehicle, is that truck? The truth is, if you roll up with a rust bucket and they see you've got three wheels and you've got half a window, shot out, and you're just kind of bouncing down the road, it doesn't matter how new or how old, or just, it's not going to be, they're going to say, yeah, we're not really feeling that. And the reason for that is because you are representing them, that company, when you pull up to dealerships. And so if you get the reputation with this company, or you give that reputation as a falling apart, crummy truck, guys are just kind of falling out of their trucks, just kind of barely getting by, they're just surviving, that falls back eventually on the transport company. The word gets around. And so if companies were to hire just a whole bunch of wildly older trucks that are falling apart and they look like they're just barely hanging on, they got duct tape holding the axle together or something, it's it's not going to be pretty. So that's another determining factor that this kind of depends on. Number 4 is going to be the company, and I would say this is the least important factor for this, but the company, your company you're leasing onto, being able to say we have this year or newer, we have 10 years, we have 15 years, whatever it may be, this year truck or newer in our whole fleet. And we're able to say we have newer trucks, we have more reliable vehicles on the road. They're able to say that. I don't know if I've ever heard that before, but that in my mind, that goes through my mind, being able to say, hey, this is a transport company that has newer vehicles out on the road, and we don't have rust buckets. We're not taking older trucks, super old. And so that would be another idea. The main thing in all this is being able to have a reliable truck that does one thing: get the trailer from A to B safely and do it well. That's their biggest thing. And so if it doesn't look like it, if you're the truth is, an older vehicle, an older truck, it's obviously more likely to have more breakdowns, more problems. Hiring on a bunch of older vehicles, they're going to say, ooh, potentially they could have a whole bunch of trailers on the side of the road with the truck broken down, and they still have to get that trailer delivered. Well, who in the world are we going to call to go out in the middle of nowhere, pick up this trailer, and get it finally delivered all the way? That's things that are going through these transporting companies' minds. So it's a large part of what depends on what they say they accept or they don't. Those 4 things are critical. So with all that being said, what are you supposed to do if you're looking to get into this industry? You're wanting to find out, what's acceptable, what's not, what company will take me, what company won't take me, depending on the truck I get. Here's some thoughts to give you when you are trying to go about this the right way. Number 1 is, if you find a truck that's older, maybe you already have a truck. It's already paid off. Man, it's been paid off for a while. It's got some miles on it. It's got some wear and tear on it, but it's an older truck, and it's well maintained. You've got it taken care of. You've done your own maintenance. You know the life and the health of your truck. That is awesome, first of all. But what are you supposed to do with that? Number 1, before you do anything, just for peace of mind for yourself, I would recommend taking it to a mechanic that you trust, having it fully inspected every inch possible. Number 1, first of all, liability, that's a help. It never hurts to have another pair of eyes out on your truck, making sure that you're safe. It's worth the money. So the first thing you did was get a clean bill of health from a mechanic. You're able to show the full outline of everything that they went through, show everything's in good condition, working properly. Besides the fact it's going to have to pass a DOT inspection, you've gone above and beyond to make sure that this truck is in good working order, and it's going to be reliable to the best of your knowledge. And so you've done that. Next would be to then go to the transport company. If they were to say, hey, we don't accept that year, sorry. An option you might have would be to say, well, I do understand that. I respect the rules, but I would just like to show you I did get this checked out, and to the best of my knowledge, it's in good working order. It's got a clean bill of health. This is an older truck. It's going to be reliable, and would you reconsider? Is there a possibility that this would work? And so maybe they say yes after that, and that's great. That's awesome. The next thing, third thing I would do would be to send some pictures of it to them. They may ask some further questions. Is there a lot of rust? Is the bumper falling off? Is the color faded? Is the paint chipped? Are there dings and dents all over the place? Maybe they won't ask that. I would highly advise you to send more pictures to them. Go above and beyond. Say, no, I'd really like to show you some pictures of this truck. Can I send them to you? Can I email them to you? It'd be much better for you to find out before you buy the truck or use it, whatever, put all this money into it before you show up to the transport company's lot, and then they come out and say, that's a little bit more rust than we care to have, or you got some pretty big dings and dents. That's going to have to be fixed before we want to hire you to lease on this truck. That's a hard lesson to learn, and I've heard stories of those kind of things happening. They say we'll make an exception. It sounds like it's in good condition. Yeah, we'll come for orientation and da-da-da-da-da. And they show up and, the company does their own little mini inspection. They do a walk around, make sure you have all the right tools, all the safety stuff, just to verify, hey, he's got his stuff. And they look at the truck and think, oh my, this isn't what we thought it was. And perceptions can be different, obviously. And so your perception was it wasn't that bad. Well, their perception might be, this is not what we want to have with our name and DOT number on the side of it. This is going to be asking for much more inspections or potential problems, or looking not what they want it to look like. And so send pictures, insist on, I'm just going to go ahead and take a whole bunch of pictures around the whole truck. I'm going to send it to you. Let me know if you're sure this is okay. Before I buy this truck, before I do anything with it, let me know, confirm that with whoever's in charge, who makes the final call, and let me know, get back to me. And so after that, if they still say yes, great, another step down the road. So you've done your due diligence, you've got your mechanic's full report on the truck, it's in good condition. They said yes because of that hopeful report that you did. And then you sent above and beyond all the pictures they would need to see. Any problems that truck has that's visible to see, you sent it to them, and they have no way of saying, well, we didn't know what it looked like. Well, actually you did, because I sent them to you, and you still said yes. So if they try to come back and say, well, this truck doesn't look like what we want, actually you still said yes before I bought it. And you have pictures of every inch of this truck. And so yes, it is. That would be a much harder thing for them to back out of after you've already sent them all those pictures. And so number 4 is going to be, before you show up, clean up the truck. No trash lying around. You don't want to give them more reasons for them to say, well, I don't know about this. This doesn't look like what we're wanting to have, flying our flag. If you show up with an older truck that, has some cosmetic issues, it's an older truck, duh. But you show up with a clean, an organized, a neatly tight wound truck that is in good condition. It doesn't look pretty, but it gets the job done. It's reliable, and it's a truck. If you show up with that, they're going to be so much more willing to work with you, to be, I believe, this last step, they're going to see, man, he did his homework to begin with. He's verifying everything with us now. He sent pictures to us. He did everything he possibly could have done, or she could have done, to get this verified. And when they're in person and they show up, and man, this looks solid. This looks like it's the real deal. They're going to be like, yep, we made the right choice, because you did all these things to make sure you are in good condition, working order, truck's in good condition, and it leaves less of a possibility for you to be stranded, abandoned by a company that says, oh, yes, sure, come to the orientation, we need you. Some person on the phone, and then you show up and they say, yeah, not so much. Well, you just bought a truck, potentially, that can't be commercially driven, at least by that company, to accept you. And so those were just some thoughts that I have for kind of combating all those variables that they have, that they're constantly changing their mind, going back and forth, depending on the season, the insurance, all those things, how desperate they are. So just go ahead and let me know down in the comments below what you're planning on doing. Do you have an older truck? Are you planning on buying an older truck? Have you already approached the company? Did they already say yes? Did they say no? Are you going to be doing what I've gone through here? Do your due diligence to make sure that you've covered each step along the way. And then along with any other drivers, if you've experienced things differently than what I've talked about so far, let me know in the comments below. I need feedback from you guys. I'd love to hear experiences you've had. We can only help newer drivers along the way avoid headaches. So please reach out, let us know. I'll try to pin good ones or point people to certain comments if I can. That would be very beneficial to help you guys. So anyways, hope you're having a great day today. Hope this was a help to you. Subscribe, like if this was valuable to you. And until next time, stay safe, God bless, and we'll see you later.